Okay, pardon me, pardon me. Shit. All right. Had a somebody at the door. Yeah, I could have just paused it, but you see how long that would have been. So um I just connect them both. I just download it, put it in one and put it back up. Um so what I'm saying now is okay, now we in a full building, right? I went to the I tussled the dude. Now I'm in the queen cell and I watched them beat the guy up. So I wound up scrapping with them, right? And because they looked over, they was like they described the dude. They was like, yo, oh yo, we got him. So he was like, yeah, he looked like this. Like he looked over, he was like, nah. He was like, nah, you got the wrong dude. So they decided, they could handle me. Got up, boom, scrapped out. You know what I mean? It's two dudes. Like I said, I'm feeling comfortable. You know what I mean? So CEOs came again. This time they wound up putting me in the why me pen. Like that's like a cell, like a little small cell, and folks I guess be like, yo, why me? Why am I here? You know what I mean? So I'm in the why me pen. You know what I mean? Now I'm here alone. So now I'm feeling comfortable. So now, but the funny thing is, really, the funny part is because I never been like a cell gangster. I never been a type of dude that yelling through a cell or some shit. Like I'm not doing that. Like I'm not to say I never did it. Not to say I never did it. I'm just saying that's not my my mo. You know what I'm saying? Not to say I never had to perform that act. You know what I mean? But it's not my mo. I'm not gonna be yelling and all. I want to look in your face. So we got a problem. You know that we got a problem, and that's that. Um. So I'm inside there. I'm looking over as I'm doing this right here. I'm remembering me looking over at all of them because the YME pen is on one side and all of the cells is on the other. Put this down, right? So I'm looking at all four cells. Now I've been to three. I think it was only I want to say four, but I only remember getting. I don't think I wound up in a. I don't think they sent me to the Bronx cell. You know what I mean? I know I went to the Manhattan cell. I started off there. Then I went to the Brooklyn cell. And from the Brooklyn cell I got sent to the Queens cell. Unless well, I know one of them cells is a two in one, like you know what I mean? So whatever the case may be, that's how I wound up. But I know I didn't go into the Bronx cell. I don't remember that. So anyway, I'm looking over at them. I'm looking over at the cells, and now I'm talking shit like, yeah, fuck you, you know what I'm saying? Smack the shit out you when I catch you, all of that fly shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I really didn't care because I'm figuring I'm just going to court. I ain't getting belted out or nothing. So I'm figuring when I come back, yo, this shit is on, nigga. And I'm still ignorant. I ain't got no banger, no blade, no nothing. I'm still thinking this shit is, fair game. Like niggas like these niggas is animals. And I'm over here acting like that's a game. Like I told you, I was ignorant. No older brothers and, shit like that. Nobody I knew was criminals. You know what I mean? So, I'm lying on that too. I'm just saying they wasn't the type of criminals where that lifestyle of being seen and all of that like that brings all of that extra drama. Like you can have problems in your life, but when you engage in a certain lifestyle bravado and all of that, you engage a whole new problem. You know what I mean? So, with that, I turned around and like I said, I'm sitting there talking shit to them. You know what I mean? Like, yo, you pussy, this, that, and the third, yada, 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 da, 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 da. Turns out they put, somebody had got into a fight and they wound up putting this kid in the cell with me, right? And they like, yo, get that nigga. So I look at the nigga like, what? You know what I mean? Let me switch my what's the name over again. I got my what's the name missing. You know, my Elgato is. I mean, I got it broke, so that's the only reason why. That's another reason why I haven't been streaming in a while. But anyway, you know, so what happened? Oh, so yeah, they put the kid in the cell. You know, but he acting like he don't got no problem. He acting like he ain't got no problem. I looked at him like, what? I told you I was a small dude and I wasn't pussy. You know what I mean? So one dude, little nigga too, I'll beat the brakes off you inside this cell, nigga. You crazy. And I'll do it just to show everybody else this is what's gonna happen to them when I get my hands on them. You know what I mean? So, um, um, I'm sitting there, you know what I'm saying, the nigga behind me, right? Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm still talking shit. Boom, boom, boom. Then they wind up putting somebody else in the cell, right? And he didn't want no problems either. You know what I mean? I'm being honest with you. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want no fucking problems either. But and they didn't know each other, so I guess it was a nothing. But it turns out the first motherfucker, when I had my back turned talking shit again, his bitch ass wound up stabbing me. I got a puncture wound all on my fucking shoulder over here somewhere and shit. I can put it up one day if it even matters and shit. But yeah, I wound up getting poked in the back and shit behind this bitch motherfucker. You know what I mean? And this is where reality hit for me. That the revolution could not proceed due to the fact that we have an element that tells us to hate each other. I told you, the COs, you know what I mean? They already facilitating these beefs, especially at a time when youth like me and all of that were going in the streets and not doing anything to us. You know what I'm saying? Like that was like mandatory. Like no women. You know what I'm saying? No blacks and like let me tell you something. It started like this, and this is where I go back to hanging out with them dudes, right? You know, um, it was a lot of us. You know what I'm saying? How I even got involved in a certain gang culture was due to these brothers, two brothers who actually came, from Cali. You know what I mean? And they put us on to that, and so that's a whole different thing. Why I never really had to deal with New York blood. You know what I'm saying? Because I was blood for a long time through a whole different movement. You know what I mean? But that died out. As kids, you know what I'm saying? But I still held on to that. Went to Cali, all that. So anyway, um, um, inside of that, I learned that we cannot free our people because there's devices put in us, especially when we young, to pit us against each other, to keep us in a certain level of conflict with each other, right? And we have an element within us who's doing the same thing too, who knowingly are doing it. You know what I mean? So when I tell the youth is, yo, be cautious. There are elements. Don't think that they'll pit you against the elders, right? But in reality, like it's like Cardi B talking about she don't cook, she don't clean, but then somebody, offset exposes her. What if nobody exposes these people that's standing right by you? You see what I'm saying? Youth. Yeah, who's already been initiated into that whole movement, Freemasonry and all of that. So and their job is to get rid of you. They government agents. You know what I mean? So, and not everybody, like there's the crew, and in that crew is the dude who's that. The rest of these motherfuckers is pawns. built up off of them having money and looking or whatever the case to get them at a certain advantage over you, to get you to jockey them and wind up, blowing it off. So keep that in mind. Like I said, when I talk to you, this is for the youth. You know what I mean? Like there's an element, that, destroyed us. Literally right by us and destroyed us. They didn't want to see us advance, especially when you got music like Us by Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna actually, like I said, since I'm gonna download this and bring it back. It's on privacy. Damn. Then I'm gonna bring it back and connect it. You know what I mean? And no, I think I'm gonna add the music to it, so so you could hear this in the background. I'm not sure if you can hear it. You know what I mean? But like I said, this is what I learned. This is what I learned by having a desire to love my people. To this day, love my people. And they just love everything else. So the first thing you kill a revolutionist is criminalizing them. You know what I mean? Sure, I was committing a criminal act, but it wasn't against my people. You see what I'm saying? But when you in that environment, the jail system, you still got people who want an advancement. You'll punch them in the mouth. You'll go do this. You see what I'm saying? To get a little something so then they can facilitate these conflicts. And that's how we wound up where we at least me. I wound up, from that turning inward towards my people. You know what I mean? Like, even though I tried not to be a large profiteer off of my people, I still engage. This is where I say the revolution, you kill a revolution, man, because you turn somebody to constantly have to watch his own people. You would think that the band of thieves, but they tell you there's no honor amongst that. See, they're in it for the money, and this is where my Tupac comes in, meaning that the destruction of Tupac was the same elements that I faced. Having once you catch a conflict with your people, you start embracing the ideologies of your people, and then the revolution, like, it gets watered down because that's what they're gonna remember. They're gonna say, nah, you did this, you did that, you was doing this, you was doing that. They're not gonna see what you have to do to even be around these type of fucking people who hate you. The minute you say your conflict is with the other people, you know what that is? That's an opportunity. That's an opportunity. Believe it or not. That's an opportunity for them to take advantage of you, rob you, do whatever. Because remember, now it's no snitching and all of these things, right? So now the police can send your own to have a conflict with you, right? And how do you advance from there? Because now you would always look like a hypocrite, right? If you bow your head, right, then who's gonna follow you? Who's gonna follow a dude who won't even stand up for himself within his own community, right? But if you stand up for yourself within your own community, how are you a revolutionist? How is it pro-black? You out here gang banging and this, that, and the third, right? And so even inside of that, you try to maneuver in a way of educating and, staying away from. And you still wind up in conflicts. I wound up, doing more time, all my time is based on beefing with black people. And I never wanted a conflict with black people. I speak too highly of black people. I have too much love for black people. I just don't love the fact that we will only predator ourselves. I told you, I came in as not against my people. If you find Corey Wise, you ask him, show him this video. Say, did you go to school with that dude right there? You're like, yeah. Oh shit. And he listened to this. He's gonna be like, yeah, that was him. He was really on that. He was the dude that was running around. Bro. I wasn't with him today at the Central Park shit. I'm just saying that that's what I was doing. I didn't know him, but he's a good dude. You know what I'm saying? Regular dude. He was in school with me, but that doesn't mean that we was in Stevenson at this time. We were in regular school. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, Stevenson High School up in the Bronx. That's where we went to school. And I mind you, I got kicked out of Stevenson for having a fight with the police officer in Stevenson. I had and I wound up going to Board of Education again. They was ready to kick me out again. You know what I'm saying? I was in jail, so my grandmother actually came to the meeting to argue for me, and they wound up sending me to Evander Childs High School. That ass, man. I went to 4 fucking high schools. This is how wild it was. And people only will know that you was wild because you constantly have to fight your own people. Like me personally, after a while, I didn't really have beef with my people in the sense of being able to walk down the street and shit like that. I was ending more conflicts than anything. You know what I mean? But even inside of that, you're spending your time over here. You're gonna be distracted because that shit is gonna swallow you up. Nobody's hearing the positivity is, I got a problem, come handle it. It's like, your girl, your cousin, your niece, whatever, having a conflict. They don't care about the time you're gonna get. They just go, oh, my uncle, my cousin, my brother, oh, you don't want to play with me. And then when you go to jail, all of that shit out the window, you forgotten by them. Then they talking shit, oh, niggas inside there do this, that, and the third. You like, oh, how the fuck do, the people who put themselves on the line for you, you forget so conveniently. You know what I mean? So, this is where the revolution died. How you gonna support a people that if you just become, you're not even a martyr. You're not even known. In the black community, we spend so much time fighting each other. So we don't even realize what's happening around us. We too busy. You know what I mean? We too busy conflicting with each other. So that's how I'm gonna approach this. Like, I'm gonna keep adding on. I'm gonna break down a lot of things. I'm gonna put up pictures and all that. This is just my first one. It was the new year. I said, you know what? Let me start my 365 days. You know what I'm saying? So this is it. This is the facts, though. This is I'm gonna show you my real cases. You know what I'm saying? Damn near every case I ever caught was fighting the police. You know what I'm saying? Unless I really didn't, like I really was just guilty and shit. I'll get into that too. Like, and I'm gonna show you that these conflicts within our community, after a while, man, you just realize that, like, I don't even fuck with people no more. Nobody. I just, like, I'm good. If I speak black to people, they look at me with this evil eye. Like this, like you could tell, like they got a bad taste in their mouth just for speaking black. So I don't fuck with them. You understand what I'm saying? I don't fuck with the people over here where everything is just, this hatred towards black. You know what I'm saying? Like, my thing is it's a simple solution. Just stop chasing whiteness. You just got to come to your conclusion of what whiteness is. I can give you a breakdown every day. Yo, that's some white shit. You understand what I'm saying? And just the chasing of money where your own people become expendable. Because at the end of the day, you realize, oh, you did all of that. You didn't get nowhere special. You understand what I'm saying? You didn't get nowhere special. So all of that, preventing your own, man, I'm not with it. You know what I'm saying? I never was the type of person to hold anybody back. Just never was that type of person. You know what I'm saying? So I don't look at, the revolution as not making that sacrifice. Like realizing that financially, that's your number one disaster. The whole 80s. When we look at the 80s, 90s, and we talk about hip hop and the culture and all of that fly shit, right? All of that fly shit. You know what I come to the conclusion of? If it wasn't for crack and all of that, where would we have been? Right? Where would we have been? You gotta ask yourself that. You gotta ask yourself that. Where would we have been? Hold on, I'm looking for a beat. All right. Where would we have been if not for the 80s? Right? I mean crack. If it wasn't for crack in the 80s, right? You look at our conditions. Look at movies like Claudine and stuff like that, right? So we had to give a lot of births, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of brush a motherfucker off as forgotten to easily justify our advancements off of those things. I know a lot of broads who sent niggas to jail who was hustling and just because the nigga might have cheated or like I literally knew a broad like I listened to her call the cops I was in my apartment and she was calling the fucking cops on her boyfriend simply because the nigga didn't give her some money. And then another dude that was with him, they both wound up getting fucked over for that. And then the other dude wound up still coming around it without knowing she's the cause. So yeah, there's a lot of victims to, the love of money and the sacrifice of people. Ask yourself this. If the 80s and 90s was right all the way to just say um 10 years ago, right? So up to like 10 years ago, the prison systems was flooded, right? Where's all those people? They closing the prison systems. Where are all of those people? You ain't asking yourself this, right? And so the forgotten ones is why I do this. You know what I mean? And I'm not even and that's just for the people who, wound up, being forgotten in that sense. But really I'm talking about the revolution killers. Those who, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally died, but a bombardment of hate within our community that we look like you. We look like you. We wind up in jails and have to be right around you. So we're mistaken for you. And we have to just keep fighting you and them because the minute I say I don't like them, you think that's an open invitation for you to violate me, right? It's like the devil, ain't playing the same game. So I'm caught in a catch 22, loving a black skin, but hate by people with black skin. That's the illest shit. And we only hating each other because we're in pursuit of money, riches. But then when the struggle happens, the hate comes. You heard Benny Siegel after if no freeway after at the each start love me person, right? This is the devilish that they put out there. This is the that's why I'm an ill ass MC. I think I've been told that recently. Yo, damn, you fucking right. Yeah, but I never pursued that. I had many opportunities to do things. Shit, the day my homeboy got shot up, then dudes was supposedly coming for me, right? Clark Kent was dead, and I used to see Clark Kent and rhyme in front of Clark a lot of times. You know what I mean? So I'm just saying it like that, man. Um, the love of the people, man. The love of the people is a dangerous thing because if the people don't love you, they're gonna see it as an opportunity. That's why I never say snitching and like if I call you a fucking snitch or a rat, mainly like it's rat bashing right here, like that's because you were engaged in a situation and like this, like okay, I'm gonna say it like this: me and crime. I'm gonna just give you this last bit. Me and crime. I've always held that there are stages in crime, right? And then there are other shit. You know what I mean? Like you got white collar criminals, you got blue collar criminals. I was a blue collar criminal. Down dirty, bust the hammer. So I'm not allowed to tell. You understand what I'm saying? Like in general, like blue collar criminals are not allowed to deal with police because of the level of trust in that environment is needed of you. You understand what I'm saying? Like you have to be die hard. Blue collar criminals are die hard. So that's when snitching and all of that can apply. You know what I'm saying? So if you out there busting your gun and robbing people, you a blue collar. Selling drugs is not a blue collar crime. That's a white collar crime. Blue that's turned blue collar. If you understand what I mean. I'm gonna give you a breakdown of that in a quick second. Okay. Blue collar crime means that you gotta get down and dirty. Blood most likely will be shed or the threat of it. That's blue collar crime, right? White collar crime is not just inside an office building. White collar crime is selling drugs up into because you can own a gun. That doesn't mean you're going to kill somebody or have the intentions to. This means you want to defend yourself like anybody else on this planet. You are dealing in a substance that is going to bring criminal blue collar crimes towards you. And they gonna wanna hold you to the stipulations of the blue collar criminal. That's why I would never necessarily do business with AZ, but like he wasn't that type of dude. So shooting him and those people, I like what was I supposed to say? Like when dudes talk about Nicky Bonds, I'm like, yo, nigga, he sat in jail for 5 years and motherfuckers overlooked that part. The dirtbag and you want this nigga to sit here for the rest of his fucking life and you still dance around like it's nothing, overlooking for 5 years the loyalty of this man. You see, that's what I'm about. Like, I understand. Like, I'm not justifying it. Like I said, once again, I wouldn't necessarily do business with Nicky Bonds, but I probably would because I'm a real nigga. So if you get locked up and I'm fucking with you still. I'm not cutting you off. I'm not doing none of that. So I would never have a problem. He would never have, like, I would never, if that was his reason for doing that, his sole reason was that, he would never tell on me. I'm not that type of person. I won't shit on you like that. So I'm good. Even though I just wouldn't do it, but I'm just saying I would have never ran into that problem. I'm not that type of dude. You understand what I'm saying? So when I see, blue collar crime, um spilling over into white collar crime, meaning that you just there trying to sell. Drug dealers are just trying to sell. Up into, like the 90s with a stick up kid and the whole paid in full and belly and all of that came out, where then it became this all encompassed type of thing. Then it became blue collar, even the drug dealer. Now with the no snitching, and I mean, I wouldn't, like I said, even in drug dealing, there's like there's no snitching code. You know what I mean? But there's like a whole, for me, I think that's like a whole different world right there. Like drug dealing and criminal robbery, kidnapping type dudes, manos, and you know what I mean, like those type of dudes. You see the circle they around that. That's that because you that type of action. That's a whole different level. Then like I'm looking at like what's my man from the TV show what's the name of that shit? Um Snowfall. The dude, Freeway Ricky, right? You know, his imagery inside there is a drug dealer. Like somebody is trying to get money. The rest of the world is fucking trying to take it. You know what I mean? So he's just using it, like he's not really trying to bust his gun and all that. Not to say that there's no times where he doesn't and shit, but like I said, that's when once he spilled over to that, all of those other hustlers rules don't apply. Like a hustler for me could be anybody. Like just because you shoplifting don't mean that if you shoot at me, nigga. Like if I was a shoplifter and you shot at me, nigga, I'm telling on you. What the fuck are you talking about? What are you talking about? You out your rabbit ass mind, nigga. I'm a fucking shoplifter. You understand what I'm saying? And that's probably the route I should have took. But then they couldn't because I'm a hardcore criminal. So how am I going to justify? Because I'm still going to wind up around you because these crackers is going to catch me anyway. It's I already knew they was catching me. So you know what I'm saying? I didn't go into it with this full intentions of always getting away. I went into it with the intentions of doing as much as I possibly can. Because at this time, mind you, I'm thinking we all moving in this accord. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm thinking, shit, the revolution, nigga. You know what I'm saying? This is happening. This ain't a temporary fix. This is what was really happening. You know what I mean? So, and I was too young not to know it wasn't. You understand what I'm saying? Just like the youth today. They see Black Lives Matter, they see these George Floyd riots, and they gonna really think, some type of revolution or something. But it's not. It's just a cleansing and starting from a new standpoint. That's all. But you will still be in your same position while the you not black mindset or we all one, you still will wind up inside your oppressive, you know, um state. Keep that in mind. That's all I'm telling you. Keep that in mind. Wow, for the youth. Like I said, I'm not paying attention to no adults. You know what I mean? But for the youth, keep in mind of where you are today, right? And if the conversations start shifting more into cryptocurrencies and you know what I mean, Democrat and Republican, it's killing you. Just accept that you are no longer in the revolution. That's just a fact. Once you start talking that shit over, not to say, and I don't mean to say shit, okay? Because a society needs to continue running, even say if a revolution happened today, right? How would the people be able to continue, or why would they even engage if they felt like their oppressors was the only ones with this key of keeping society running? You know what I mean? So I'm always engaging in people doing all of those type of things. All I tell them is support the people who want you to have it for yourself. Aren't you tired of always going and complaining every day about how this person is taking advantage of you and doing this, right? Support the people who want you to no longer say that. But that means that you would have to be taken as serious. And like I said, once you start talking, especially the Democrat and all of that, I already know that you you're not even interested no more. You full fledged into that. Until you saying we need to start our own political party, right? Then I'm believing you. But if you talking Democrat or Republican, I'm not listening to you. You talking liberal and far left, right wing, and all of this shit. I'm not listening to you. I'm saying you're in their circle. You saying, yo, here go a black, political party right here. This is what we doing. I'm fucking with you. I'm fucking with you because inside that structure, you're setting up a structure. Inside of their structure, you're setting up your structure to show that you can maintain this. Because now you even have a voice, a political voice. So yes, I support um Puffy and all of these, black activists when it comes down to starting, the Black People Party and all of these things. I'm going to support it. Even if I don't necessarily mess with you for a lot of things. But why wouldn't I support that when the overall picture, the greater picture, is showing we can organize? That's the main point of supporting that. Even if from that two other parties come out. Because they like, oh, fuck Puffy, we can do it. Okay. But now you showing that you can unify the people from within. You understand what I mean? In large numbers outside of gangs and stuff like that. So then the people feel secure and stepping away. Because now they got something to defend, something to protect. They got a party, they got a military of some form or unity of protecting one another and not killing one another. And the minute you hear somebody promoting, see, there's a difference between talking rough because somebody is doing fucked up shit. That's what I do. I talk rough to you. I'm tough love. Versus, yo, we should go kill that nigga. Yo, come on, I got the gun. Let's go. I don't talk like that. You would never ever hear me tell you if I ever had a problem. Trust me, my hammer ring by myself. I don't need no code. I stopped kids from having codes. I'm gonna give you that story too. You know what I mean? But I never needed a code when it came to that. Right? I had codes. My code, if he was still alive, he'd tell you. I literally told the judge, nah, he good, boom, and I took the weight. I took the weight. Not because of anything other than I just don't need no code. I don't want you to to even fail yourself. You understand what I mean by that? I don't want you to fail yourself and put yourself in a position of having to be a bitch. I never needed a code, never wanted one. And I mean for the bus and the hammer part. I'm not talking, crime. You know what I mean? But that was just something I never needed. I never needed, somebody to shoot a gun with me. Like, fuck it. Hey, that's the I wanted to get away, stupid. You know what I'm saying? And murder is something that lasts forever. That shit don't go away. So all of that YouTubing and talking and beefing, like I just don't understand it. Like you want to go to jail, you want to be around men. Like I didn't want that. I didn't be honest with you. I like stayed low key. I was just like, shit, slow down on hustling and like I just didn't want to like. Eventually, I was walking away. I don't do crime, but at one, like I said, that was the growth because I had to like move away, go to a whole new state, few states. You know what I mean? But just to cleanse that um from me and the people. You understand what I'm saying? Like I had to take a side of like disgust out of me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was really disgusted. Like I am disgusted at my people, but for a lot of things. But it's a different type of this disgust now is what I'm doing now, trying to tell you that it's not too late to the youth. Like that's what my disgust is. Just trying to tell them that listen, man, there's a soldier in there. You're talking about black ops, man. There's black opportunities. There's a black youth inside there, male and woman, man, male and female, both, and they for the people, man. And that's who I'm for. I'm for them. So this is for them. And I understand, the plight that you're going up against, without people loving and dancing um to sacrificing us, you know. They don't even hear it. They don't know why they making the sacrifice. They keep talking. Oh, the sacrifices. The elites. They making sacrifices. Yeah, you. They getting you to struggle for bread. Like how the pharaoh to the Israelites what I'm saying, put the yoke tighter so they have to work harder. So they put the yoke tighter, so now you gotta kill more, you gotta rob more, but you won't go into their environment. So then you're wiping us out and you're making a sacrifice. You're sacrificing us. It's hard to explain. You know what I mean? So I'm slide out. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna slide out. I hope this one right here is valuable to you. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing this 365 days of how they killed the Black Revolution. You know what I mean? Peace.